Welcome back to the show. Many thanks for staying with us. Now let's deal with stories from Chief Justice has instructed the names of judges who are found of constantly remanding people are sent to her for action. She promised to ensure the suspects are not remanded unduly, and she says the Justice for All program has come to stay and commends her predecessor, Georgina Wood, for initiating it.
These remands are dealt with, whether it has to do with insufficient or uncompleted investigation, whether it has to do with incomplete prosecution, whatever the causes are, we will not really lend ourselves to the encouragement of this activity, which, when taken to an acceptable extreme, amounts to nothing more than abuse of human rights. I have also noticed from time to time from the media comments and criticisms, negative criticisms of this program. Maybe it's because of lack of understanding. It is not intended to release dangerous persons onto the unsuspecting public. It is intended to decongest the prison, and it is on the basis of that that the Justice for All program operates. And we deal with remand prisoners either to bring closure to the procedure by convicting, if that is what is called for, or by releasing either on discharge or on bail. And that is how Justice for All operates. It is for all. We do not do it out of fear, and we do not do it to favor anybody other than the cause of human rights.
Chief Justice Rufai Akufu there, joining the Justice for All team in Tamale, from where Seth Kwame Boateng is joining us live. Hello, Seth. Okay, we don't have Seth at the moment, so we'll try and raise Seth back on the line. Now, 16 suspected drug peddlers have been arrested in a joint swoop at Medina in Accra for unlawful possession and sale of prescription drugs. 15 out of the 16 suspects are Nigerians, with the other a Ghanaian. They are aged between 16 and 30 years. The drugs seized included aphrodisiacs, male-enhancing drugs, dewormers, and analgesic drugs like tramadol. They're currently in police custody. Briefing the media after the operation, the Director of Communications for the FDA, James Lartey, said it has become necessary if the war against drug abuse, especially tramadol, is to be won.
The Food and Drugs Authority is very much concerned about the public health and safety issues, and we have come together with other institutions like SEPS, the police, the BNI, IOCO, and other institutions. We organized this troop to ensure that products that are being sold on the market, but in the first place, illegal dealers, people that have not been licensed to sell them, that's the first people we wanted to target. Secondly, whether the products are registered products. Thirdly, where they are being sold, whether they are approved premises. These are the things that we are looking at. Again, the issue of tramadol has been a worrying situation to us and other institutions. And we felt that there was a need to do a swoop to make sure that people that are dealing in this tramadol, which has been established that is being used by our youth, especially students, and it's creating a whole lot of problems. Tramadol, this is a sample that I'm having here. It is a painkiller. The FDA has registered tramadol, but the one that FDA registered is 100 milligram and 50 milligram. But the one that you find on the market currently is around 200 milligram upwards, which has not been approved by the FDA. Secondly, it's been established that this tramadol is seriously being abused. What is happening is that students take it. I don't want to prescribe how it's being used. So people that are not using now want to go and use it. But let me just establish the fact that it is something that is being abused, and we want to discourage that.
According to the World Health Organization, more than 90% of extremely preterm babies born in low-income countries die within the first few days of life, whereas less than 10% die in high-income settings. Every year, an estimated 15 million babies are born preterm, which is defined as babies born alive before 37 weeks of pregnancy are completed. Patricia Gasu has been speaking with some mothers of preterm babies as well as health professionals.
For some mothers, the pain of having a premature baby is almost as traumatizing as miscarriage. We caught up with a mother whose baby is still in an incubator.
So I've been joined by a mother of a preterm baby. Her name is Thelma Longden. So Thelma, tell me, did you know you were going to go through this?
No, I didn't know.
What happened?
I was in the house. I started feeling pains. But initially, I was told it's the baby turn, and so I was okay. But I realized, after 2 days, the pains were too much. So I had to be rushed to the polyclinic. That was where the doctor said the baby's hand was already out. So I had to be rushed to Kolebu. Within 10 minutes, I delivered. But nobody said anything. They only said, okay, look at your baby. Is he a boy or a girl? I said a boy. Okay. So we are taking him to Nico. That was the first time I even heard of Nico.
Is this your first child? Well, just this particular one?
Yes.
Okay, so was it terrifying?
For the first time, yes. When I came here, I was like, wow, what is going on here? But you see, when you come here and you see other babies, you're like, okay, at least your baby is a little bigger than someone's. So and the doctors, when you meet the doctors, they encourage you. So we always come here looking cheerful. But for first timers, we always cry. When you come here for the first time, you cry seeing your baby like that with all the tubes and drips on him and all that. You cry.
But are you getting the needed attention and support?
Yes, we are. The doctors are patient, they are loving, caring. Anytime you have a problem, you approach them. They talk to you. That is, if it wouldn't worry you. Some mothers, especially when they are taking blood, some get scared. But some of us, someone like me, I would like to stand there and then see whatever they are doing. So when you ask them, they tell you. Sometimes too, they will tell you, you go, we'll talk to you later.
So is your baby okay?
For now, I think he's getting better. Yes, he's getting.
So how many weeks was it?
It was 28 weeks. We were 28 weeks.
Like 7 months?
Yes, almost 7 months. So we are, Sunday will be our 5th week here.
Okay, so when are you going to be discharged?
We don't know yet.
So until he gets better?
Yes, because they don't want you to go and come back here. They want you to be fully fit because you have to go through a process. It's not just going to be here. From here, you start with the KMC. So how the kangaroos carries their baby. So with the preterms, we carry the babies in front of us for them to feel our warmth, the bonding and all that, just like they being in our stomach, yes.
So you combine that with him being in the incubator?
Yes. So with the KMC, we have the full one.
Meanwhile, pregnant women are being cautioned against excessive alcohol to avoid complications that can deform their unborn babies. Health experts say children of alcohol-abusing parents are susceptible to what is referred to as fetal alcohol spectrum disorders. Beverage company Accra Brewery is leading a nationwide sensitization campaign for pregnant women at major health facilities. Prince Apia witnessed one of the sessions at Komfo Anokye Teaching Hospital in Kumasi, from where he filed this report.
a group of conditions characterized by facial deformities, behavioral and learning problems. Ms. Juliana Bosompra is Deputy Director of Nursing Services of and Fanochi Teaching Hospital. She warns pregnant mothers to desist from taking alcohol during pregnancies to safeguard mothers and their unborn babies.
Some people will tell you, oh, as for let me take some small amount of alcohol, because it passes through the bloodstream, so it goes through, it passes through the umbilical cord, and the baby can get it straight. You can get cleft palate, the hearing impairments. The brain can develop well when you drink alcohol during pregnancy. The advice given to them, like, they shouldn't drink alcohol at all, whether in small quantity or they consume it in large quantity. It can affect the baby.
She said this when Accra Brewery Limited extended its alcohol and pregnancy program, which sensitizes pregnant women on the health condition, to the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital. The program, organized in partnership with the Reproductive Health Outpatient Department of major health facilities across the country, has so far impacted over 3,000 women. Cyrus DeGraff Johnson is the Corporate Affairs Manager of Accra Breweries Limited.
Because we as a company believe that alcohol is supposed to be enjoyed by adults only, and also for some people who will be responsible in not abusing it. But in this particular case, we think that it is totally a no-go area for any pregnant woman or anybody expecting pregnancy or lactating to go near alcohol, because we believe that no amount is too small for a pregnant woman. So we are trying to prevent this. We've been doing this for the past 4 years. We started in Kolebu, 37 Police Hospital. We went to Kofredua, we've gone to other places in Accra, and so far we've had a very good response from the pregnant women. The hospital authorities have been very cooperative, and we intend to continue. It's a 3-day thing. We started yesterday, today, and we'll end it on Friday.
Ms. Juliana Bosompra therefore extended her appreciation to ABL for leading the charge against fetal alcohol spectrum.
Very good, educative, and it has helped us and the clients also. It's very good that if we can get it even monthly, or us, that we'll be able to talk with their help, we'll be able to talk to the clients.
Prince Apia reporting.
Away from health, let's go back to security, and we're going back to Tamale, where Seth Kwame Boateng is standing by. He has been with the Justice for All team, and they as well have had a very distinguished guest, who is the Chief Justice, Madam Sophia Akufo. Let's speak with Seth to find out. Seth, what are the numbers we're looking at now in terms of those whose cases have been heard in the Justice for All court, so to speak?
The lines are very clear, but if I heard you, you're asking how it went. In the remand population was 73, but a while ago the Justice for All program ended, and 3 were unconditionally discharged. In fact, we saw them pack their things and leave the prison. So right now they are on their way to their homes, and they are so excited. So I can say the population has been reduced by 3, but 13 others were also granted bail, and they needed to go through a process to get out of the prison. Some were lucky, they had their relatives around to sign the bond condition for them to leave. So they're also in the process of leaving the court. And the chairman of the Justice for Our program, Justice Clement Sunyenuga, made sure that they signed their bonds and that they left with their families. So that is going to be that they are not going to sleep in that prison today. So in all, 3 were unconditionally discharged, 13 were granted bail, and 3 cases were struck out in today's setting guilty.
Yes, we've seen that. We've already heard the Chief Justice speak, actually, but why has she been a part of this program today? Has it always been a part of the plan?
Well, her predecessor, Justice Georgina Theodora Wood, used to do that. She used to join the program, and in fact, she did the last prisons before she left. but the current Chief Justice has been on working duty tour in the northern part of this country, and it happened that today's session coincided with her tour in the northern region, so she took time to visit the Tamale Central Prisons, and it's the first time a Chief Justice has visited that prison, so they were so excited, and they told her a lot of their problems, hoping that very soon they're going to get a good response from government.
Solutions. Certainly. Finally, Seth, where do they move to from here, the Justice for All team?
The next point will be Perugia and Port Foundation. That is the NGO or paralegal team that has been putting together the register of those who are supposed to benefit from this program. Confirmed to me that in the next few weeks they are going to Perugia for the last session of the year. And in fact, they believe that more people are going to get their liberty when they go to that prison.
Interesting. So 73 people had their cases heard. 3 of them have been discharged. 13 are on bail. The rest are back in prison.
I meant today the population at that prison was 73.
Okay.
But the cases that went before today, the judges today, were 20. 23 were unconditionally discharged. Okay. 13 were granted bail. 3 cases struck out. Others didn't appear because the cases had been heard days before the Justice for All team came to the prison. So the question, I remember when I was doing the Locked and Forgotten and the Left to Row documentaries, the remand population was very high, above 100. But we went there today and it was 73. And it has been reduced further to 70. And more people are going home. That is, those who were granted bail are able to fulfill all the bail conditions. They also go home and it will come down. But I must add that 3 judges are going to be punished. The chairman of the Justice for All program confirmed to us they are going to be punished because when you play the sound of the Chief Justice, she made it clear that judges who are found of unnecessarily remanding people are going to be punished because she believes it's about time that ended. We should not use remand as punishment. So she tasked the chairman of the Justice for All program to ensure that all these judges are picked, their names are submitted to her. And today, 3 judges in Northern Region, their names came up in today's session that they have been doing that. So their names are being submitted to the Chief Justice, and the information I have is that an action will be taken against them. That is, their promotion can even be affected. Gypsy.
Interesting times ahead. We'll see how it goes. Seth, thank you so much for that update. Seth Kwame Boateng is with the Justice for All team, and of course you know that he is a prison ambassador following his documentary which led to the freeing of many prisoners. Today we're told that 3 of them have been freed. There are still some who have to be in jail, but at least 13 have been on bail, so looks like a good deal going on from there. We'll bring you more as and when we have the information. But for now, President Akufo-Addo sometime in April made a bold statement to make Accra the cleanest city in Africa before the end of his first term in office. That promise has been given a boost with the launch of the National Sanitation Campaign. Now, the mayor of Accra, Mohamed Ejaisoa, says Accra is on course to attain that dream as the Assembly has since closed down 8 illegal dump sites. He says the Assembly will end open defecation through its Toilets for All program.
The President's remark has raised the standard so high so that with whatever progress that we have made, we are unable to tout it because we are looking at the best. I came to inherit over 40 unauthorized dump sites in the city, and we've closed down about 80% of them. Is it not an achievement? We've commissioned a transfer station in the history of this country. That the first time, working with a private sector, a transfer station has been commissioned, which provides an intermediary facility for cutting of refuse. Because if you want to go and dump refuse at either Insomnia, a minimum round time of in fact, a minimum distance of about 80 to 90 kilometers. So a compaction truck leaves Accra and go to Pome. By the time you come back, night, and you can't do anything again. So we have cut down on the distance, and the president has reiterated his promise to help the city and the Ministry of Sanitation to construct additional transfer stations. And these are the real things that we are, practical things that we are doing on the ground. The refuse that you see in town, you see refuse, heaps of refuse in town?
Well, sometimes you do see them.
Where do you see them? When you see refuse at place, show me. I'll go and collect the refuse. We generate about 2,500 tons of waste every day. If you don't collect refuse for 2 days, you can't step out from your house. By the third day, there will be cholera outbreak. In 2015, there was a cholera outbreak because the dump sites were full, and then we could not dump over there in 2015. And there was cholera outbreak. Over 200 people died. 20,000 people, got affected by the cholera just because we could not dump. So it is not the case. It is probably people sometimes trying to say, but where are the heaps of refuse? If they are, show me, I'll go and collect the refuse. That's my job. That's why I've been appointed by the president. I'm supposed to be collecting all the refuse. But I agree that we haven't gotten to the point of the expectation of the president and the fact that we have to be the cleanest city. One of the critical issues that we need to tackle is about littering. That's why the president launched to change our attitude. You drink your bottled water and you throw it on the street. You empty your sachet water and you also throw it on the streets. So what we see sometimes on the streets are littering and not heaps of refuse, at locations. And that one requires an attitudinal change. And in every city in the world which is clean, people don't litter because it is the littering that is creating the problem. So we're going to work on the littering by making sure that we enforce our bylaws. But more importantly, the city dwellers must come to the realization and understanding that it is our littering which is creating the problems and not necessarily there's a heap of refuse anywhere.
Now, not to take you back, you talked about closing down 8 illegal, dump sites.
80%.
80%. How did these dump sites come up in the first place?
Well, the dump site come about as a result of sometimes, we have a lot of tricycles operating in the system. They can't go far to Boom or to Insawan to go and dump and come. So, and we have accepted the tricycles as part of the waste collection chain. So they need a shorter distance to go and dump. And once you don't create a very convenient place for them to go and dump, they will create their own places. And that's why I said that we've supported Zoom Park to construct a transfer station. If you go to the transfer station at Achimotana, then you'll see a long queue of tricycles that are going to dump over there. So we have created an avenue for them. And additionally, we want to construct 2 more. And that's what the president have also reiterated, which of course, once we constructed 2 additional transfer stations, the collection of the refuse will be easier for all of us.
The World Bank actually threatened to withdraw its support for Ghana if you're unable to deal with our sanitation, challenges. We know open defecation has been one of them. We want to find out what the Accra Metropolitan Assembly is doing to clamp down on the menace, for instance.
Well, to put it on record, World Bank presently is excited about our performance, that we've been able to advertise the subsidized provision of household toilets to city dwellers. It costs 4,000 Ghana cedis, and World Bank is providing support through AMA to subsidize it and give it half the cost to city dwellers. So we are working aggressively over it. We are quite excited with the numbers because you marvel about the number of people that are coming. In fact, that's why we are adding more contractors that are constructing the toilets, because it goes hand in hand with the enforcement of our bylaws. By law, you are supposed to have a household toilet. So if you don't have, our public health department will also prosecute you. But we are doing it when there's a facility for you. So once we go into an area we present the facility to you, and then once we are advertising the facility, we are also working with the public health department to ensure that those who do not have household toilet get it. So the prosecution is also compelling a lot of people to be able to buy into the one household, one toilet facility. And we are quite excited about it. But we are also equally concerned about people who deliberately also want to defecate around. I mean, if you look at places like Circle and the rest, they've stopped. But there are some few areas that has also come to our attention, and we are working closely with the police. And people have to be arrested. Many a times there are people who have also come to the city and they are shelterless, and they don't have any place, and they sleep at open places, and for that matter, they go and attend nature's call everywhere. But this is a city that we have a lot of community public toilets, so it is not an excuse. If you don't have a private toilet, there's a community toilet in almost every community, especially in low-income areas, that you can't patronize.